Welcome to Chef vs. Pantry, where we bring in an overqualified chef to cook in my kitchen with no planning whatsoever and see what they make. Today, that guest is best-selling cookbook author and former molecular biologist, Nik Sharma. This is your newest book, Veg-Table. It looks gorgeous, and I can't wait to dive in. Do you have anything you want to say about this book?
Buy it. I mean, that's the whole point of writing a book. People should buy the book so I can use that money to support my dog's livelihood and life.
That's why my wife does stand-up, is to give our dog a better life.
Exactly.
Never mind me or our child. We don't usually do like mystery box style.
Okay.
You don't have to use this, but I just figured, because you have this beautiful book, we will reveal.
Ooh.
So this is like the at arm's reach kind of stuff.
Soy sauce collection.
Yeah, soy sauces, mirin, feel free to poke Ren in there,
Okay.
hot sauces, rices, pastas, and then various canned things, beans, tofu, canned clams. I happen to have one piece of salmon if you want that. Most of the vegetables I took out. Cheeses.
All right, we'll definitely get the salmon. Pepper flakes. I saw
like
butter
that.
in the fridge, right?
Yes, butter in the fridge. There's also butter out if you want it.
Oh,
room
let's use
temperature.
that. It'll be faster. Okay, so we'll use the cabbage. Use the fennel with the salmon.
Beautiful.
Do you have some yellow or red lentils?
Yes,
Do you have Parmesan?
I do.
Okay, and you had garlic, right? You said
Yes.
you had garlic. Miso?
Yes. Got. Do you want white or red?
Let's use white. I think we're ready.
Let's do it.
Okay, so I think we'll do three things, but I'm still gonna go with the flow. We'll do a cabbage with lentils. Then I'll throw in some pasta. We'll play a little bit with miso in there just to add a little bit of umami.
Yeah.
But you know, if you had MSG at home,
I do.
I would totally throw in a
I have some.
sprinkle.
You want some?
Okay, yeah. People shun away from it, but I am all about
No,
the
those
MSG.
people are wrong. But what I don't do is label it. That way no one knows it's MSG. It's just a container of white powder that I keep unlabeled.
A mysterious white powder.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we'll do like a salmon with fennel.
Amazing.
Okay, so the only thing I'm gonna do is just trim off the broccoli, and then I'll use everything in this, even the leaves. So I'm gonna do a pasta with broccoli and basically cook the broccoli where it's so tender it falls apart. But then that is the basis for the sauce of the pasta.
Oh, it's how I cook my broccoli pasta too.
Oh, good.
I'm a big fan.
You know, people say bite-sized pieces with broccoli and cabbage, and that you need to like
Well,
go in there and make like little trees out of it. It's too much work.
bite-sized is also not helpful as an instructive.
It is not.
You know, like when you're a kid and you give your dad wants a bite of your apple.
Yeah,
He takes a bite
then-
and like half your apple's gone. I feel like I've become that dad now.
I need you to set up 2 large pots of boiling water.
Great.
I'm gonna slice the garlic up really fine. You can even just microplane the garlic.
Yeah.
I'm trying to not make a mess in your kitchen and
Nah,
have
do
the
it.
water.
Just
like-
dump it. I believe in you.
So normally you wouldn't soak red lentils, you just cook them. But what I'll do is I want to soak them because I'm going to braise them with the cabbage.
Right.
And they both cook at different times. This will just give it a little bit of a helping hand, and it won't. The cabbage won't burn. I'm going to need your help in putting the broccoli in and cooking it till it's very soft and tender. I'll do the easy stuff like watch the pasta.
You want like fully soft?
I think we're there. Yeah, you can strain that. Olive oil and butter. So I like to start with the butter first, just because it has so much water, otherwise it starts to fly all over the place. This is a nice heavy pan, good arm strength, huh?
What's the old Anthony Bourdain line that any pan that wouldn't do serious head trauma if it hit somebody is not good enough for cooking with?
Oh. So I'm going to lightly brown the butter, not overdo it.
Yeah. So we got some crushed red pepper in there.
Yeah, and
Something that everyone's always called chili flakes until they had to write a cookbook and realize that they're called crushed red pepper. This smells delicious. The nuttiness of the butter, the chili flakes, the garlic.
All right, so I'm going to add a little bit of miso.
Talk to us about what the miso is adding to the party.
So I'm using white miso right now. I prefer white miso when I'm cooking even savory. I know it's a lot of pastry chefs like using miso for, white miso for their desserts because it's not as salty. They say it's a little sweeter. Can you get me the broccoli, please?
Yes.
Ready?
I think so.
Okay. A little bit of water. Do you have any preserved lemon?
I don't. I have a, weirdly enough, somebody gave me this. It is a preserved Meyer lemon paste with bay leaf and black pepper.
Okay, let's use that.
Great. I feel very good about this.
The water is just to like help everything kind of just all the chunky bits come together.
Yeah, it kind of like it helps make a sauce out of all the ingredients.
Yeah. I think it's good. All right. Ready to serve this?
Let's do it.
I add extra cheese to everything. Even if I buy frozen pizza, I'll go and add
100%.
cheese.
My wife doesn't believe there's cheese in it unless it's also on it.
I don't see how this could be bad.
Broccoli
Parmesan,
pasta.
so it's hitting like a lot of different continents and countries.
Yeah.
Right?
Intercontinental accessible pasta primavera.
Broccoli intercontinental.
Broccoli intercontinental. Delicious.
That's delicious. You get like double umami
I
from
forgot to
the.
add the MSG. I think it's fine without the MSG, but if you,
It is, but you can always add it. You can also snort it later.
Should we do a little duster at the top?
very good in cocktails, MSG. I did not know that, but I had an MSG cocktail.
Like I needed a reason to drink more. Is this a white miso?
Yes.
It is.
There's a white.
I heard them in the other room.
White miso, broccoli.
You're really sensitive at flavor. You can really pick up the nuances.
That's me. I'm just like a culinary genius. This is delicious.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This is great. Today's episode is brought to you by Spindrift. Spindrift, the only liquid I consume that isn't alcohol or caffeine or just plain water. Spindrift, real ingredients with carbonated water. Let's get back to the show.
Okay, now I'm going to make something with the cabbage that was on your beautiful display earlier. I pulled in the chives. You had some chives over there.
Yep.
We got a jalapeno out of your fridge. I'm chopping up a red onion. Going to braise it all together and see what we get with some red lentils. We're going to add some olive oil. Okay, so I don't want the onions to turn brown or anything. I just want them to soften. So I'm also going to add a little bit of salt.
So talk about what the salt does for
So
that.
this, I'm not using salt for seasoning. I'm just using salt in here because, to kind of draw out the liquid, make it softer. Salt is osmotic, and it pulls water out from anything really well.
Osmotic as opposed to asthmatic, which are very different things.
So the onions, I'm just going to cook them for 4 to 5 minutes over medium heat till they soften. Pinch of salt, not for taste, more for texture. I know even if you're caramelizing onions, some people say add baking soda, it'll move it faster.
Yeah.
Don't do that because it's again, it has sodium, and baking soda is also a salt. It'll end up actually making the onions very liquidy. It breaks down the pectin. It is true that salt, anything with sodium, anything with a heavy metal, not a heavy metal, anything with a metal ion like sodium, calcium, it'll react with pectin. Pectin is what keeps most vegetables hard. Pectin has calcium inside. Sodium will pop the calcium out, sit in there, makes everything softer, but water comes out, and then it makes it nasty.
Yeah, the truth is the trick to caramelized onions is time.
I'm going to chop the cabbage, and then I'll have you rinse it. So I'm just slicing it up fine.
So most people, when they talk about braising, they're usually referring to some kind of a flavorful liquid, whether it's beer, milk, stock. What are you going to use to braise today?
I am actually going to braise it inside using the vegetable's own water. So a lot of vegetables are just so rich in water that I feel there's no need to add any more unless things are burning.
That's awesome.
And so for this, I'm going to rely on the cabbage. Cabbages have just so much water. And you'll see like after it's cooked, there'll be this liquid that forms at the bottom.
And very little cabbage left.
Yeah, kind of like spinach.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is nice and soft. So I'm just going to drain all the liquid from the lentils. Toss it in here. I'm just going to
Following behind with more? Or are you doing it in
just put it
stages?
all inside.
That's very cool. So the lentils are also going to cook in the cabbage liquid.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Put this on the lowest heat setting, but I'll check it maybe after 5 minutes because I want some of that liquid to fall out from the cabbage and then cook everything. If it starts to dry out, I'll add a little bit of water, but the trick is not to open it too often. So slice the fennel bulb really thin and then save the fronds because we'll use the fronds as a garnish later.
Slice. And then you want to save the fronds, you said?
Just save the young, tender stuff.
Yeah.
We can use that as a garnish. I'm thinly slicing a couple of shallots into rings.
Sorry, I'm getting a nosebleed. Give me a second. Just keep filming with him and I'll be back in a second.
So now I'm gonna do something with the fish. We've got like a nice salmon with skin on the back. Throw in what you provided today, and I picked out some fennel that you've shaved really thin and beautifully.
Without cutting my finger.
Without cutting your finger.
It made my nose bleed for some reason.
Are not from you. And then I've got a shallot that I'm going to cook in a little bit of olive oil and get them a little crisp.
Great.
I'm just manually separated the rings. These I want to brown a little bit more than I normally would. They don't have to be super crisp. Like they won't be like store-bought crisp nice because they do like certain tricks which make them better. I could make them more crispier and browner.
And then you can use that same oil to cook the fish?
Yeah. Oil, I'll add some butter. Usually I would do it the other way around, add the butter first and then the olive oil, but since there's oil in it already, it's fine. I like using butter for stainless steel, even cast iron, because it provides that layer of non-stick. Okay, so I'm going to put
salmon's going in.
Salmon in, skin side down. If you're really nervous about the fish skin sticking and you're not confident, dust it with a little bit of flour at the back, just lightly, and that'll prevent it from sticking. And don't fidget with it. That's another thing with fish. Just leave it on, don't fidget with it.
Yeah, do less when it comes to fish.
Okay, just a little bit of salt.
So now you're basting with brown butter, essentially?
And olive oil, yeah.
Beautiful.
Do you have any red wine vinegar?
I do.
So we used preserved lemons before, so just to kind of use vinegar now. I'm pouring out some aged California sherry vinegar, which is aromatic, smooth, and toasty. Why don't you put in like half a teaspoon of your red pepper flakes in there, and then bring it to a boil. Do you have any brown sugar?
I do. Light or dark?
Add, doesn't make a difference. Just add like a teaspoon. All right, see, like with the butter, the skin is it just slides off so easily.
That's perfect.
Same oil, I'm gonna use that for the fennel. So I'm cooking I didn't want to waste the oil, so I'm using the fennel here, and then I am going to pour this in with and then season it with salt. Kind of like a quick pickle vinegary fennel. In the meantime, can you add the green chili and the Chinese, or those fancy chives you got, to the cabbage?
Absolutely.
And fold it in.
Smells very good too.
Adding a little bit of salt. I don't want these to be too tender. Also, I like the crunch.
Yeah, a little bit of texture.
Yeah. And then the vinegar. Good.
Gorgeous.
Okay, just a little bit because fennel can be pretty strong.
Yeah.
There you have it.
Beautiful.
Well,
Look at that.
Let's see if it passes taste test.
Oh, Eliza, you want to come and have some? You have to name the dish.
Oh, I just happened to be in the area. A chef prepared.
So we have braised cabbage with red lentils, some fancy chives, which we're not sure whether they're garlic or Chinese, but we'll find out.
I'll be the judge.
Yes. Jalapeno, that's sliced in there with the cabbage, and then there's salmon, crispy skin,
Brown butter.
with brown butter, olive oil, crispy shallots, quick pickled fennels with brown sugar, chili flakes, and aged sherry vinegar.
Sherry vinegar from Erewhon.
Yeah. That's delicious. Oh my god.
And the cabbage and lentils are cooked entirely in the cabbage's own liquid. It's braised in its own juices.
Its own blood. That's scrumptious.
Yeah, this is great. Look at that beautiful crispy skin on that salmon.
I wasn't even getting crispy skin. I like the acidity of the pickled fennel because it cuts through the fattiness of the fish. Oh my god, a whole bite of crispy shallots just for me.
Nik, you made not one, but two amazing dishes. You went above and beyond today.
Thank you.
And it is very exciting because now I get to cook out of your amazing new cookbook, Veg-Table, which is out now.
Cute.
Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
And everybody, buy Veg-Table, out now.
And I'm here.